Shifting privacy concerns into high gear in Milford with the debate over speed and flock cameras heating up. Tonight, hundreds of people took their fears right to the police chief and also learned some changes are being made to the system there. Amanda Callahan is your reporter live in Milford with what happened tonight. Amanda.
Stephanie, that discussion went on for more than 4 hours tonight. The chief addressed both speed cameras and automatic license plate readers, or flock cameras, explaining their use and their benefits here in the city. But the hundreds inside the auditorium are still pushing back, asking for those cameras to be taken down entirely. Hundreds of Milford residents voiced their concerns over speed cameras and flock cameras. It's an ongoing debate in the city. The police department hosted a community forum in an effort to differentiate between the two types of cameras and debunk misinformation about their data. But the majority of residents is persistent about getting flock cameras taken down, citing privacy and surveillance concerns.
Why are you calling these license plate readers when your own documents say that they use AI technology? They create the fingerprint of the vehicle, including dents, bumper stickers, and other more detailed information.
We have told you our feelings. All these little data points don't mean diddly squat to us. We want everything out of our city, get out of the police state, put community policing back into the communities. Put it top down.
The license plate readers themselves have existed around the city for over 25 years, but last year Milford upgraded them to include flock safety. The more than 24 cameras document your license plate and the make and model of your car. Milford Police Chief Keith Mello explained the cameras are used for either automated hot list matching, like Amber Alerts or missing person cases, or manual queries, where only if there's reasonable suspicion someone committed a crime or is about to. Mello says changes are also being made in response to residents' concerns. Data is being retained for 7 days instead of 21. There's a pause on installing new cameras, and the flock camera on Gulf Street was deactivated. But the question of whether this is constitutional or not continued.
Well, we feel like suspects.
I know.
You're gathering all of our information. We all turn into suspects.
Right.
We're all guilty until proven innocent, basically. And this private company has our data. What are they doing with it? What are they doing?
And representatives from Flock joined the discussion.
Every single aspect of what is done with the data is owned by the town of Milford. Flock does not own it. The city owns it. The town owns it. You decide who you want to share with, who you don't want to share with.
And another change coming here to Milford, the creation of an automatic license plate reader subcommittee as part of the existing police commission. That group will be in charge of approving new cameras and taking down existing ones. Your reporter live in Milford, Amanda Callahan, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.